Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday. I'm back from my Disney vacation. I am here with Kimberly, and we are going to discuss 90 Day Fiance, Season 10, Episode 16, With This Ring, I Thee Wed. How are?
Mm.
Did you miss me?
I missed you so much.
I know you didn't even know I was gone
It's
because we knew
been
it was good
yeah,
to be.
but
No,
I
just
saw
kidding.
your pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, I haven't. I've got a bunch to post. I haven't posted very many because I did figure out sort of halfway through the trip that because of our level of our room that we got free Wi-Fi. So I was like, what?
Amazing.
Yeah. So I was able to really get in there and post some things. But then you kind of, I like the nostalgia of going on a cruise and not being able to get in contact with anybody.
Yeah, that's part of the thing is get away from people. So
Yeah.
you're
And
surrounded by people, but you're still away from other people.
yeah, that's right. Cause you're saying you might want to go on a cruise just to get away from people,
I
but also be
myself.
around people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually been obsessed with YouTube videos about cruises. Like I've been following these cruise ship performers, like
Oh, they're the best.
an
They
ice
become your
skater
best friends. They
and
become your
like
best friends.
the dancer, and like you watch their vlogs about their life. It's
Yeah.
so fun. Like they get to go off on every port and all this. It's very fascinating, their jobs.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I will tell you that if you follow any kind of like cruise ship like hierarchy, right? So they have down below. So everything they have down below is almost the same as up above, but for below deck, right? So they have full kitchens. They have to serve
Yeah.
everybody their meals,
Uh-huh.
just like they have upstairs.
Mhm.
Who cooks there? I don't know. And then they have hierarchies, right? So if you're a certain level, you have like your own bar where you can go in.
Oh.
And so if you're like wait staff, you're sort of looked down upon by the
Uh,
entertainment staff.
uh-huh. I
And if
could
you're
see that.
entertainment staff, I think you're looked down even a little further down if you're Broadway staff. Because, there's like Broadway shows on these Disney cruises. And they're like incredible. I'm talking like the
Yeah,
floor
they're so
drops, people
talented.
swing
Yeah.
in. It's
Yeah.
like a Broadway show with the effects,
Mhm.
with the lightning and the flashes and the run through the audience and the
Mhm.
floor disappears and reappears and people are swinging from the ceiling, like the whole thing. So we love that. And that was really the only place we had to fully encounter children. Because if you wanted to see the like Broadway style show, there are going to be children there as well.
Right.
But otherwise, we were
Okay, so I need to
successfully
watch
avoided
some of these
children.
videos because Below Deck is one of my very favorite shows. I've seen every
Hmm.
episode multiple times, but I would love to watch a show about cruise ship performers and all the drama.
Oh yeah, because like the last day we were talking to Gonzalo, our waiter, and we said, "Do you know Tisa from the entertainment team? We love her. Every night we've been doing the games with her. We're having so much fun. Like we're winning 80s trivia. We're doing everything with Tisa. Love her. She's hilarious." He goes, "Oh, I do like her." He said, "Yeah." He goes, "And she's very nice to everyone." I said, "Well, she seems like she would be. She's hilarious. Like she should be like doing comedy shows. She's so great." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Because a lot the entertainment staff not nice to the dining staff."
He was spilling it.
And Disney people, they don't say a negative word about anything
Yeah,
ever.
happy face
Every
all the time. Yeah.
happy face all the time. And we were like, "Really? Give us the tea." And he's like, "No, that's all I'll say." Sh- He's like, "She's very nice, and most of them aren't."
Oh my god, I love it.
Now they're wonderful. They're so fun. They're the entertainment staff. And when you
Yeah.
go to play bingo and the amount of routines and stuff they pull out, if you just say I-22, they go into a full Taylor Swift Feeling 22 routine.
Oh, I love it.
They have a whole thing about B11,
I
B11,
love
the thing on that, and that's because B11 is literally like French for Beyonce. It's something. Because they'll sometimes explain, but I don't
it.
even know what they are. I just like sing along because I've done so many of these cruises that like I know all the bingo stuff.
Oh my
Like I'm ready for it. Don't call B11 and expect me not to start singing B11.
god.
We had so much, so much, so much, so much fun. And we even had like the port they had to cut short because it was like going to be a storm. So they just stopped for like 4 hours and everybody back on. And we had to back to New Orleans to miss a storm. And then we got to New Orleans. It was stormy. So we had a lot of things that could have gone wrong with this cruise, but we
Yeah.
were just happy to be there and not asked to walk a dog or make a meal,
Uh-huh. Exactly.
I was happy to be away from my regular life.
I love it. I don't have children or a pet or a husband or responsibilities, but I still need to get away.
You have a lot of responsibilities because you deal with your elderly parents
That's true. I do.
and you have a stressful job sometimes.
Sometimes I do. Yeah.
Yeah. This
But
is not one of them.
not compared to like neurosurgeons.
No. And you know what's cool too is like when you're going through Gulf of Mexico before you get to the Mississippi River, when you're coming back that way, it is so interesting to see all the oil rigs, out in the ocean because, people live on those oil rigs and you're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
and
I
you look
wanna
at
know
it
about that.
and you're like, how? Wow.
I want a tour of that. I may wonder if there's vlogs.
Like you have to, yeah, oh, there has to be. But
This
I
is
think
why I love these TLC shows, like, I love just watching people who live different lives than me, like,
yeah.
in a different situation and what their life is like, their day-to-day life. I love that.
Like, I think that's what Jovi of Jovi and Yara does. He goes out to
Uh-huh.
an oil rig and lives on it for 4 to 6 weeks and then comes back
Mhm.
for X amount of time.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Then we found out that Kamisha, who is the head of the concierge team, because you guys know I love a concierge situation, she was married to the guy that was the head waiter in our dining rotation. His name was Sedomir. And she was like, "Oh, I think that my husband is." Oh, he was like the head waiter for our rotation, and she was the head of concierge. And they had been together for 17 years, married for 9, and had been doing like met on a cruise. Had been like doing this for. They've been doing this career for like 20 years, each of them.
Wow.
Yeah,
They must really like it.
I think they just make a lot of money.
Wow.
Like they're so high up that they each have their own cabin.
Oh my god.
They don't have to share, and so
That's my
she's
dream marriage.
I know. So she says that they really use one for like a closet and a get ready and just an
Uh-huh.
extra bathroom, and then they stay in the other one.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, she was like, but she's like, every so often they'll really need an extra cabin, and I'll give it up, but I shouldn't have to because I've earned it. I was
Yeah.
like, no, that's right, Kamisha, you go. We had so much fun. We had so much fun. Yeah, if you find any like TikToks or YouTubes about people that live on oil rigs, I'd love to know.
Yeah. Please send us. Thank you.
Looks awful, you know.
It's different. It looks different. Yeah.
You'd have to, but I also like that. I think you make so much money that it's almost like Jovi. You can't give it up,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
Um, so I came home and my 2 doggies greeted me, and Violet, who's more of the persnickety one, she literally jumped into my arms like we were long lost lovers.
Oh, that's like you were returning from war.
Yes,
I
she
love
licked
that.
me all over my face and
Aw,
just wiggled her booty all over me. I was so happy.
I love
Ginger gave me a couple of licks and was like, "All right."
I love it. Dogs are the best.
Um, So what else? Oh, we're going to have a Nextdoor today, guys. So I want to tell you that before we do it, there's going to be a sound, and your dog may not like it. It didn't sound last week. I had Ingrid put it in post, but we're going to try it again as I think I fixed it. So let's try it. Okay, Nextdoor time.
Hi, neighbor. Hi, neighbor. What do you know and what do you say?
All right, so there's that. So I'm sorry if we'll hope that we'll hear it. Ingrid will look for it. But anyway, that's our fun sound that Ingrid put in there for us.
We're professionals.
You guys, there's just nothing but professionalism here. All right, so what you got? What you got?
Okay, so this one was fascinating to me.
Okay.
A very strange. Oh, by the way, I did not get mooned. Somebody thought that I got mooned last time. Yeah, I was
Oh,
reading a post from somebody else. But if
okay.
I did, I would laugh. I probably wouldn't post about it and
I
say,
don't think
"Why are they mad at me?" No.
those mean teenagers.
Yeah, no, I would laugh. So this person says, very strange occurrence tonight. We heard a bang on our door and opened it to find a container of 2 beta fish. Not sure if someone may have ordered beta fish and if they were mistakenly delivered here. Neighbors, have you seen or heard anything strange around tonight? Very odd for 2 beta fish to be in a container as they are typically aggressive towards each other. Not sure what to do with them either. If anyone would like to take them off our hands, please let them know. They are both still alive, but will not last long in a container like this.
That is weird because beta fish, they do have to be separate. They
Yeah,
can't be together.
yeah,
So nobody would order 2 beta fish.
right. A
They
bang
would
on their door and then beta fish. So somebody was helping out and like, I'll take them off your hands. People were volunteering. The
yeah,
amount of people who said you need to separate them, which she said in the post, I know they're not supposed to be together. That's what
yeah.
I don't like. These comments that are like you need to separate them. That's what I said. Like,
And
I said
also
that.
read the rest of the post because I said it and then 12 other people have already said it.
Yeah, we get
I'm
it.
not stupid.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But Tiffany said, glad fish are okay because I guess she found someone to take them. But now I'm worried about you. I'm so curious about this now. Maybe we're all just bored in the house, but my crazy brain is going crazy. So no pet delivery would have done it with two betas together, right? So who's messing with you? Are we just triggered by watching these awful detective shows? Or are you in trouble, girl? She might be a listener of ours because I say that a lot. I say, you in danger. Lock your doors, get a ring, check in with us every once in a while. And then
Wow.
Barbara said, please separate or one will be dead in the morning. She was just like very violent. And then there was some arguing. That's a male and a female. No, it looks like two males to me. They can tell from the picture.
If
Okay.
these people know so much about beta fish that they can tell just by looking at them if they're male or female, they need to come pick these fish up.
Just take them. Marianne says, good luck, Catherine. They look good. I might order some. And everyone was like, what?
Also, she didn't order them.
Are you going to eat them? Like, those look good? Are you going to? And then she said, sorry, wrong message. And then she also said, my neighbors put almost dead flowers on my door and disappeared.
Okay.
What's going on with Marianne? What?
Is Marianne the one that was going to order the beta fish?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And
Marianne's
she
not
says
right.
her neighbors put almost dead flowers on her door and that's a message. So someone said that looks like the same kind of container Petco uses.
Mm.
And so people were like, take them back to the store and figure out someone did it. Ren said, very weird. You should get a camera for your door. If you have teenage kids, it could be their friends messing around. If you have a weird grudge with anyone, it could be a weird veiled threat. If you have a neighbor expecting fish, it could be the wrong door. If you're near a main street, it could have been a schizophrenic homeless doing something odd. Those are my theories. Hopefully it's no bad thing.
Those are all viable theories. Is there any going to be any resolution to this?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Are they sick? Do they stuck your hand? Did you stuck your hand in? Do they feel beta? Do they feel bit? Someone wrote rolling my eyes. Okay.
So they're trying to say, do they feel better?
Yeah.
Do they feel better?
Yeah. Is
Okay.
there a local fish spur? Time for a fish rescue. I think he was going for like fish whisperer, fish spur.
Okay.
Yeah. Janet's my favorite. What are beta fish used for? They're
nothing.
pets. Like
They're pets.
what is a dog used for? Like to pull an Iditarod? Like, Rick, you don't use beta fish for anything. What is she talking about?
Maybe she thinks they're showfish.
Right. Maybe they like produce some sort of like their poop is used for something fancy.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Jerry says that almost sounds like a message. And then Albert said there's an old Italian mafia practice of dead horse heads or dead fish. Okay, but these are alive fish. So it might be.
Yeah,
okay.
I think a mafia thing is more like dead fish, like wrapped in paper, like a big fish, not like a tiny little beautiful fish that swims in a circle.
Uh-huh. And then she said, thank you to everyone who provided suggestions and resources. We found someone with the right setup for both fish, and they have been successfully rehomed. No idea who left them to us, but we're glad they'll have a good home.
That is like our neighbor who found a parakeet in a cage on their front steps, like it was a baby being left at a fire department.
What is
And-
going on?
And if people that are longtime listeners of this podcast will know that we had a house many doors down several years ago that we lovingly referred to as the crack house because they did, in fact, get in trouble for selling crack out of that house. I live in a decent neighborhood, guys. But this one house, the son had moved in after the mother died, and it was on like a reverse mortgage. So once the mom died, technically she's supposed to move out, but then the son moved in and it was like a squatter's rights situation and he wouldn't leave. And then he would get these roommates, right? Which also really is not allowed.
Yeah.
And he would get these roommates. And so he got this mother, son, child duo, like grandma, adult age son, and then a kid that was like in one of John's classes at school. And the grandma got like tased on our street by the cops for like selling crack, like pulled her out of her car. Like they were always there was unmarked cars constantly watching that house. And we were just like, when is this guy going to get evicted? When is his reverse mortgage going to be up? So finally, I'm going to say 6 years into us living here, after many sets of roommates had gone through, he had this, towards the end there, he had this other sort of stragglers, and he had this woman who wasn't mentally well, and she would kind of walk around the neighborhood and talk to people, and she said that's where she lived, and we're like, huh, that's weird, because the mother-son crack team with the boy and John's class had moved on. I think that they moved. The crack selling grandma went somewhere, and the other two moved somewhere to Maryland with another relative. So then you got these other stragglers in, and this woman was walking around like randomly talking to people. I don't know if she was walking to a bus stop or what she was doing, but she was telling somebody that she had this parakeet and that her landlord, which would be my neighbor, wouldn't allow her to keep it. I was like, what does the fucking matter in that shit show of a house? What kind of
Yeah.
anyway? So she was saying
Bigger issues.
bigger issues going on over there. And anyway, then that neighbor, like 2 weeks later, who lives around the corner from us and has like one little boy who's probably like 8 or 9 years old now, probably was like 5 at the time, opens the front door and there's like a cage with the parakeet like at the front door. Like, surprise, here's a present.
No note.
No note.
Just
And he knew it had to be her. He'd never heard of anybody with the parakeet. And he like showed interest. Like when she mentioned it, he was being nice. He was like, oh, that's interesting. So somehow she took that as an invitation to leave her parakeet there. It's the same idea. You open the door and here's your pet. It's like, what?
I think this has to be a Petco delivered them to the wrong address.
Right. I agree. But would Petco deliver two in the same container?
Exactly. In this tiny container with not enough water. So they're going to run out of oxygen. Like,
oh, no.
They're fine. They're fine. Thank God these people were home. What if these people were out of town? Also, Jan says, very weird. Do not open. May contain something bad. I think she thinks there's like a toxic fumes or something. That like I don't know, cyanide or something. And you
like it was a trick. Like you'd be like, let me check on the fish, and you'd open it and then you'd be gassed.
I think that's what she's thinking. And then Judy says, I recommend a nice wine and butter sauce lightly fried.
Ew.
You're gross, Judy.
Judy, take your jokes elsewhere. That's disgusting. I like sometimes when you write on Nextdoor or something and they'll be like, this is not the place for you. You need to go to Ring.
Yeah.
You need to go. I'm like, what? Isn't this what we're doing here?
Yeah. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Someone will be like, I don't want to start a political conversation, but.
Horrible. All right. Well, I'm glad that we solved that mystery.
Kind of. It's
still,
like we have some resolution, but we're still waiting for some.
Because there was no like thing on it, like here's your delivery from Petco. It was just there. It was like DoorDash.
Yeah.
Petco Dash. Pet Dash.
Apparently Petco delivers.
But then they don't give you any receipt with it or anything.
Right.
I think a little kid down the street bought some betta fish at Petco and got in trouble by his mom. And he was like, oh, I'm just kidding. They belong to my friend. And then ran down the street and dropped them in a neighbor's. Yeah. Those people look nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well,
hey, just don't rehome your pets, people, unless you like ask permission first.
Right. You rehome your pets if they're not having a good home with you, but you need to find the proper owner before you do it. Yes.
Get approval from the person that is taking them first.
Oh, Lord. Well, this week we are going to start with Jasmine and Gino.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so you're welcome. Everything's happy in Jasmine and Gino land right now. I don't even know what to do with myself.
I know.
So 42 days to wed is where we start. And these two are going wedding dress shopping at a place called White Magnolia. And they've cleared up their arguments. They're in a good place about Dan. And she says she has no choice but to bring Gino wedding dress shopping because how else would she get there or pay for it? It's a great point. She spent all her money on her butt.
Well, we
So,
did have somebody one time take the credit card with them. Like the
mhm.
guy gave, I can't remember who it was, and the credit card didn't work at the store. And it was so
Yeah,
sad. Do you remember that?
I do, but I can't think of who it was.
I know. And it,
God,
it was,
midway through, it'll occur
yeah.
to us. So, she says she's telling the lady at the store, I originally wanted a black dress because I'm like a black widow. I'm stealing him from his
Oh my
family. And the lady's like, mm-hmm. And she goes, but now I see all these beautiful white dresses and I really want one. So they ask, what is the budget? Gino says the budget is $1,000. Now, that's a lot of money in some stores.
Yeah.
But in a very specific fancy wedding dress shop, that is going to be bargain basement.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You could go to those like sales where they do the clearance
yes,
sales,
yes.
but I still think they're going to be that much money.
Yeah, I mean, because these dresses are mostly handmade and they always have to be altered,
Yeah.
you know? So he says the budget's $1,000 and Jasmine's like, okay, that doesn't even exist. And the sales lady says, we're going to figure it out. Don't worry. Let's pop open the champagne. Let's get comfortable. And Jasmine goes, yeah, get drunk. She wants him to get drunk and spend money on her.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
Gina,
remember, because I feel like we forgot this, the money that she was supposed to use on the dress went to the butt. And it was supposed to be like thousands of dollars.
$4,000.
Yeah. And then she combined that with Dane's money and then got her butt. So she is the problem here. She
Yeah.
spent the butt money.
She could have had $4,000.
Yeah. So don't be greedy now.
So Gino's in there trying to pop the champagne. He makes a mess. And he's like, I hate to have to be the bad guy, but I got to ask the questions about the budget.
Oh my God. You can't take him anywhere, though. He's so embarrassing. He always is going to do something embarrassing.
You're totally right. He is embarrassing. So Jasmine says she did
Like
have him.
bringing your dad with you to like the mall.
Totally. And he dresses like a dad, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he just bumped into something. Oh, he just knocked over that jar of pickles and it shattered on the floor. Oh, Gino. What did Gino do now?
Can Gino just find a place to sit so he doesn't ruin the store before we get going?
Yeah.
So she's been married before, but she didn't have a wedding. And she says she wants a princess style dress because she's a princess or a mermaid style because she's also a mermaid. She wants both and she wants him to be speechless when he sees her. So she comes out.
But
What?
she is speechless now because he's going to see her now.
Right.
And then
Correct.
maybe speechless later.
Speechless both times because
They're
he's got
not
short
worried
memory.
about any sort of bad luck with the groom. They have enough bad luck in their relationship.
If everything else hadn't stopped him, this surely is not going to be the nail in the coffin.
This is nothing.
So she comes in dress number one. It's gorgeous. And it's strapless and it's kind of got a full skirt and it's around $3,000. And he's like, oh God, well, that's 3 times the budget. And I don't know. And she's like, baby, you should invest in my happiness. And then the second dress comes out similar. It's strapless, but it's super straight. And he's like, wow, this dress is incredible. Man, I can really see your shape. I can see your figure. And Jasmine says, Gino, this dress is romance. This dress is like my dream since I was a little girl. Well, we find out this dream romance dress is $5,000.
Do you kind of blame the shopkeepers at this point? Because this is when it gets super awkward on Say Yes to the Dress and they're fighting over the money and the dress person doesn't know who to listen to. Like Jasmine was probably whispering to them, go higher. But then they have him at 1,000 and they're like, how much can we push? But I think this is the tactic. You show them like a lower price dress. You show them a higher price dress to scare them. Then you show them a middle price dress. And then they're like, okay, well, at least it's not the higher price dress. So I'll compromise. I think it's all mental. I bet they get training in like psychology and bargaining.
Well, that's what they do like on Property Brothers, right?
Yeah.
They show them a super expensive house and go, how much do you think this house is? And they'll go, I don't know, $675,000. And they go, this house is $2.3 million.
You're an idiot.
And your budget is 500. So what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So you're probably exactly right. That's probably the whole idea here. So he's like, oh God, and she goes, baby, I want it. Baby, I want it. Baby, please, baby, please, baby. And he was like, no, I don't have the budget for this. So the sales girl's like, well, this is awkward because we see this all the time, but like, I don't know who to listen to. And I'm sure she is in the dressing room going, you could push him higher. You could push him
Mhm.
higher, right? So then she comes out in dress number 3, and it's great. It's very similar to dress number 2. It's strapless, it's straight, but it's not quite mermaidy. And then she puts on a veil with it, and he goes, oh my God, you look stunning. You look like a queen. You look like a Barbie doll. And she goes, Gino, look at me. I look like a painting, like I'm not real. I love this dress. And the sales lady says,
Good
good
for her
news.
for having self-confidence.
Yes.
Very rarely, I think brides feel like they look like a model in every single dress. And she is she can't stop looking at herself. And good for her.
Yeah, good for her. And so the sales girl says, good luck. It's a floor sample and it fits her perfectly. It's about $2,000. So the sales girl's happy, everybody's happy. And
But
Gino
again,
says,
that's twice the price he thought when he came in, and he doesn't even blink at it because they showed that $5,000 dress.
right. But I think also he's doing the same thing too. He's giving a low number, knowing
Oh,
he's
yeah.
probably going to have to go double.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
He gave a low number knowing that that's a joke.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But she
Very
also
smart.
knew she wasn't going to push him to 5.
Right.
Yeah.
Because all he has to do is go, butt implants.
Yeah. What about Dan?
Maybe Dan can give you money for your dress.
They're not talking about Dan anymore. They've squashed that beef.
Right. He's dead
Yes.
to them.
Dead. So the sales girl's happy, Gino's happy, and they hug and kiss and cheers, baby, and all this. So now they're going to look at a venue to get married. And he says, it's great. She's going to love this place. It's in their budget, he thinks, and he really feels good about it. Now, he's got horrible taste. So you think it's going to be something super shitty, but
I was scared.
it was very nice.
Yeah.
And she says, my dream is to be barefoot by the ocean with a crown of flowers, just Coco and Gino and no Gino's family. And he wants it to be old fashioned because he wants to wear the freaking fedora hats like the 20s, like something from his age. It's like, wow.
Why didn't they just
Wow.
elope in Miami and then do a wedding with the family in Michigan? They were so happy in Miami.
I know.
They should have just found an officiant and gone and got married on the beach there secretly and then do the family thing.
They've got to move to somewhere in a seaside town. I mean, even if it's Connecticut or Jersey, but they've got to be by the ocean and warm most of the
year. It makes her a totally different person.
Yeah, they've got to be by the ocean and it's got to be warm.
Her seasonal affective disorder is out of control. Although she was a bitch in Panama too. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So they go to this beautiful home. There's got like an event space and like a barn and a farmhouse. And it's nice. She really likes it and he loves it. And Gino goes, look at this. It's huge. It's old fashioned. Like I like it. And Jasmine says, here's the thing. I do love the place. I really, really loved it, actually. And the only problem with it is that it is in Michigan. And if it was in Panama, I would love it even more. But, I have to bitch about Michigan. I can't give up. It's like, at least she's honest. She's not going to give up.
I have to be difficult. I can't just be easy.
So she says, she's got unresolved issues with his family. She knows she promised him that they'll get along, but she does not feel accepted by them. So the wedding planner is saying, like, we could plan a small wedding, for however 15 to 75 people or whatever she said, which is a pretty big range, from $5,000 to $15,000. It's all going to depend on the food and whatever. She says, I'm going to work up a proposal. So they go chat outside, literally by like a highway. Vroom, vroom, cars are going by. So she tells Gino.
Yeah, is that right where the ceremony would be, or would they be inside?
I think it has to be inside.
Because it was quite loud.
So also, I don't know if you watched it on Discovery Plus or if you watched it on the screener.
No, I watched it on my TV on TLC.
Okay. So the screener that we got this week was one of those sort of uncut ones where they hadn't like fixed the audio completely and it had the rolling numbers in the top corner with the timestamp. It was very loud highway noise. I bet it was edited way down.
That's rough.
I bet. Yeah.
I once went to a gorgeous wedding, $250,000. and it was at the Ritz-Carlton in Marina Del Rey or some Malibu,
Uh-huh.
somewhere like very fancy. And it was
Yeah.
gorgeous, but it was right next to a road and there were just motorcycles going by and then a million other things went wrong. That's a story for another day. Still
Oh,
beautiful. They're still married. Love them both. But a lot of things went wrong.
well, and they're still married, so that's good.
Yeah.
So, 5 to 15K. And so outside, Jasmine tells Gino, I really like it, but I'm not sure. And I got to tell you that I worry about your family ruining this. They might say something mean to me. They might have questions on me. And he goes, what are you talking about? It's our wedding day. They're only going to make you feel good. We're going to celebrate. It's going to be a celebration of the day. And she cries and says, I need you to have my back. I'm so far away from home. And he goes, it's going to be okay. It's going to be great. So obviously they picked this place, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we go 21 days to wed. Okay. When they're getting out of the car, walking to this restaurant, did you notice this music?
No.
And maybe as I was watching it like on the airplane, I had to pay $10 to watch this because I had to download the Wi-Fi on the airplane, guys. That's
Worth it.
dedication. Yeah. The music it started off like Italian music, like dun 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 dun, like super like traditional, right? Like
Uh,
Mamma Mia, like that.
yeah.
And then it goes into full like unkta, 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 like you're going up into club. It was like started out traditional Italian, like you would see at the beginning of The Godfather, into I was like, what the fuck is happening here? So they're going to lunch or dinner or something, we don't know, with his family at this Italian place. Everything is Italian in this town. And Gino says, we've been working on the last minute details for the wedding, the photographer and the planner and the food. And it's really stressful. That goes into a wedding. And it's very important that Jasmine hash out her concerns with my family. So we're going to whatever this meal is. So cousin Dana and his wife Michelle are going to be there. And then Amanda, who never speaks, who we never meet, is going to be there.
What does she not? Does she not speak? I was waiting for her to say something. I forgot she was there. They never did a close up of her.
No, because
Just
we
when
had
they would zoom
Anthony.
out, it was like, oh, there's another person there.
So Dana is his cousin and Michelle's his wife. Anthony is his nephew. So I have to assume maybe Amanda is married to his brother, but he had to go to work. So they sent Anthony the nephew and Amanda the wife who doesn't speak.
But they weren't going to let her speak. Yeah.
They've got opinions. So, in the talking head, she says, when we go to this meal, Gino must have my back at any given moment. No hesitation. It's now or never. It's like she's going to be like attacked by ninjas.
Yeah. She
Any
is
given
right,
moment.
though. He just sits there.
Yes.
He is not stuck up for her ever
I agree.
in front of people. So she's right about that.
Or he doesn't say like, hey, let's ease off on the
Yeah.
questions.
I
Or,
love her. She's going to be my wife. Something.
Yeah. So she, tells them, I've been praying for this moment, meaning the wedding, and it's been a long time, and I'm nervous, and I don't want to feel this way at a family gathering, and I know that you all have worried about me and worried about me hurting Gino, and these are valid fears, which was a perfect thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
She said, these are valid fears, but it's just not the case. And I want you to know, I want to know what it will take to be loved and accepted by you and for you guys to see me as family. And then she cries and was like, I really need you guys. I need you. I miss my family. It's important to know that I have you as a family here. And I want to know that I'm welcome because I'm not having it easy being away from everyone. And this is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
And
so
she
she cries.
keeps talking and crying, and they keep cutting to everyone just not saying anything. No one jumps in. They just let her, or it was the editing. But I was like, is anyone going to say something? She's like gut-wrenching, pouring her heart out.
And Gino's kind of nodding like, that's right. Get it all out.
Look how
You got
vulnerable
it,
she is. See, she's nice.
Look at her. She's not an evil barracuda.
Right.
So Dana says, well, it's Dana, but now I got Dana because she says Don.
Yeah.
So Dana says, you know what? This is a great first start. And I'm really glad you're being so honest. Honestly, we did have concerns because you are so beautiful. And we wonder, why can't she find a great guy over there in Panama? And Michelle says, this is just different for us. Like, it's not normal when we first saw you and you're like on the bikini in your beaches. And, we're getting to know you. And you know that I've gotten to know you. And I think you're smart and funny. And I love you.
Wow,
And,
did they edit that in the preview to make that bikini conversation look
uh-huh. This is not normal, is how
Yeah,
they edited it in the
look at
preview.
you. You're this slut on the beach. This is not normal.
Yeah. I think they're like, we're very like Midwest and we don't know about bikinis on the beaches. And, so, then she says, to Gino, I want to say in front of your family, I will say, I am so sorry for being so rude and so bitchy. And you, Gino, have given me nothing but love and support. And I love you so much. And then nephew Anthony goes, look, I was suspicious at first. I was worried because, I was worried about my awkward uncle. Okay. I was worried about my awkward uncle and that you would leave him. And they all laugh. And Jasmine goes, you know what? You're right. Because he's not awkward. He's super awkward. Am I right? Am I right? High five. High five.
This whole conversation is like, you're a 10. He's a 2. I mean, look at him. He's a freak. He's the elephant man. Why would anyone touch him? He's disgusting. Look at his hat. It looks like his breath smells bad. He has a shark face. Why would anyone even? It hurts to look at him. He's horrible. And look at you. And Gino's just laughing along. It was so funny. I loved it.
It was hilarious. And she was like, that's right. He's a loser. Am I right?
They're all just the waiter comes over. Look at how a loser. Can you believe he's with her? And the waiter like has a heart attack and dies of shock. It was just amazing. Yeah.
So Anthony says, in his talking head, he goes, I can really see that she loves him and they love each other and that she wants the best for him. And they're like, let's do a toast. Family, Jasmine. So then they have a little talking head together and he goes, I told you there was nothing to worry about. My family's your family and everything's great now. And she's like, oh, I love you, Gino. So that's it with these two. Thank the Lord. There was no screaming because my voice could not have taken it this week. I couldn't. Okay. Speaking of people who scream, let's go to Manuel and Ashley.
Oh God. Okay. I wasn't ready.
Sorry.
I did watch the More to Love and theirs was the only scene I fast forward to see and then they have an icon that says More to Love in the corner.
Yeah.
And I probably missed one because I only saw this one. And I can't believe they re-aired a 2-hour episode with one extra scene. But it was the whole scene with Sully who doesn't approve. And why they had and they sat down with him and why he wasn't coming to the wedding and why he didn't approve. And he wants more from Manuel and Manuel has to prove himself. And it was very polite. It was so boring. It was just a very polite conversation. You don't like me. I don't know about you. We're going to work on it, but I'm not coming to the wedding. Okay.
It was the four of them, the two couples?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Ashley was translating and then they used a translator app and it was just they all handled it very well. Very surprisingly respectfully, but boring TV. So they are at the beach preparing for their wedding. They have destroyed this beach house. There is bottles and cigarette lighters just everywhere. Because I think all their friends are crashing there. It's just the party house. They're not going to get a deposit back. So, and the music, I did notice their intro music is a song that's like, we can make this work. We can make this work. It's a very hopeful, we're kind of a disaster, but we're going to make this work.
It's like Ben and Ronnie on Watch What Happens, and they do a lot of times the Vanderpump Rules music.
Yeah.
And with Trixie Monocle.
Yeah.
And it's always like, walking in LA. We're walking down the street. We're in LA. We're going into a bar. We're gonna party all night. Yeah. It's always so literal as what they're doing. I'm like, oh my God, Trixie Monocle was on vacation.
Yeah. I love it. So they video chat with Manuel's mom, who calls Ashley my dear daughter-in-law. She seems very sweet. And she gives them advice to respect and love each other. I don't think she's seen this season. I don't think she's seen them together. I don't think she knows they have sex in public bathrooms. I don't think she knows that they scream at each other. It's fine. But they all cry because the mom can't be there. And Ashley's crying because she feels badly too. And Ashley promises to be a good wife. And then at this point, I started getting the first of about 12 emergency flood warnings on my phone. And I got because it's been very rainy here in LA, which when it does, it's like everyone panics. The streets are not built for it. So, literally just all night, it just wouldn't stop. So I
Did
got
you see
very
Taylor
distracted.
Swift's hair at the Grammy? She looked like she'd been stuck in some rain.
She gets very frizzy during her concerts too. She
Yeah,
starts out very smooth, and then at the end, it's like crazy. But
yeah,
people love it. It's like wild woman hair.
yeah.
So anyway, it was very sweet. They're all crying, and the mom's like, Ashley, you're already like a daughter to me. This is very cute.
Very.
And then Ashley is just happy that he's letting her in to his family. Again, like Sophie, she's asking for so little.
Yeah.
Just let me know who your family members are. That's all I want. What are their names? So then Armando, the
Oh.
not of Kenny and Armando, the wedding planner, calls to
Mhm.
tell her there are going to be tropical storms and her guests could be in danger. She immediately starts to freak out. And I know I've given her a very hard time about her fake panic attacks, but I think any bride would probably freak out about this. I do think any bride would freak out.
I agree.
So I'm going to give her a tiny bit of grace. I did wonder if she's a witch, can't she just change the weather though? There's no spells for that, I guess. She can't
Also,
control the
why
elements.
can't she see the future? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Well, so she didn't foresee that she says, I didn't foresee that we were going to be in tropical storm season in Florida. If you remember from last week, she also did not foresee that she picked the date to be the first day of school, and her mom is a teacher. So for a woman with crystal balls, she foresees nothing. That crystal ball is black. Is showing her nothing.
Oh my
So,
god.
she's just so stressed, and like her boobs are held up by this like little string dress, and like I'm a large chested woman, and I can't do that. Like my back and my neck health are more important to me than wouldn't feel supported. I wouldn't be able to walk around. I don't understand like the science that is keeping up those boobs.
I was very, very invested in that as well. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I understand how these dresses work on like wafy
Yeah, little perky boobs.
with little tiny Jennifer Aniston type boobs.
Yeah, the
I
kind
understand
I've
how that.
always wanted, little
Yeah,
perkies.
me too. I understand how it works on that, but on this, it's like she had slung them around like socks, tube sock style, and
Yeah.
then tied them up with two little strings. It was an engineering feat, is what it was.
How does she not have like a red indent on the back of her neck? Because that strap is hanging on for dear life.
I can't wear any halter anytime
No,
there's like a cute bathing suit top or any kind of
no.
cute
Well,
like one piece.
I'm
If it's a
self-conscious about
halter,
my upper arms, so I probably wasn't gonna wear that dress anyways, but
I wasn't either.
that's my own personal issue that I have to work through.
Yeah, but a lot of
Good for
people have.
her for
I
being
have that.
body positive.
Yeah, me too. I have that issue, but anything that is around the neck like that,
No,
it's
that hurts my
me
neck.
too. It hurts
Yeah.
my neck.
Mm-mm. Okay, but she's a witch. She can do what she wants.
That's
Can't
right.
change the weather though. So she says we can't push the wedding because tomorrow is the cutoff day. So these freaking idiots have planned the wedding for the very last day of the 90 days, leaving no buffer zone for an emergency, and he will get deported, basically.
They are getting married on day 89, she said.
That's it. So stupid.
Mhm.
What is
It
wrong with
is.
these people?
It
I
is.
know you need as much time as possible to work on your relationship and get to know
Mhm.
each other, but that is just stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So they just don't think about things. I don't think they should have children. I can't believe she has a house. Like, I don't know how she functions as an adult and
He
as a
already has 2
business.
children.
He has
Yes.
2 children. She runs a business and charges $4,000. What's she going to plan in your life? She can't plan her own life. So
Mm-mm.
she says, if this doesn't work out, my world will implode on itself. And she loves the what's the word I'm thinking of?
Metaphor?
No, I was thinking of I can't think of the word.
A simile?
No,
She loves
where you over exaggerate. It's a
hyperbole?
yes, hyperbole. Thank you.
Oh, it took us a minute, but we got there.
Wow.
Hyperbole. Yeah.
And her poor sister's just like, well, maybe it won't work out. What if that doesn't happen? It's like, I don't know if she's just over calming Ashley down or she's just like decided a negative approach is better than a
Reverse
reassuring approach.
psychology. Yes,
Yeah. So
yes,
she's
yeah.
like, okay, what's the worst that could happen? Will you die? And Ashley's like, yes, I will literally die. So they never discuss just going to the courthouse. They never discuss having the officiant come inside the rental house and doing the
Right,
wedding inside the rental house.
right.
No, it has to be on the beach or she will die.
But she explained it's because of the moon in the so and so on the 89, the whatever it was, the moon alignment chakra witch situation happened exactly at 5:30 on the 89th day.
I
And
can't.
that was the exact time they are predisposed to get married. And it happened to be 5:30 on the 89th day. That's the way it worked out. And that's when it's happening. There's no other choice.
But weather is telling you that that's bad. So then you need to reevaluate your numbers. You did some math wrong.
No. I mean, but I don't understand. Okay, so you could still get married at 5:30 on the 89th day, but it might just have to be looking at the beach instead
Right.
of on the beach.
Right. That's not
Yes.
acceptable. The moon has to be shining on her.
It's wild.
Yeah, because
It's
the
wild.
crystals absorb the moon energy.
All of that is
Yeah.
true. Yes.
I'm curious though, if we have any listeners that are into that sort of thing, like what would you do if weather disagreed with your plans? Like, would you have it override? Would you think then that you have to change? Or would you say, I don't know, like what do you do? What's more important? Weather is like the universe is telling you something.
Right. But it's just
Maybe the
like,
universe is saying, don't do it.
well, it's like we saw in Family Karma and Indian matchmaking, the astrologers, and we've seen on 90 Day as well, the astrologer will tell you the correct time and date for you to get married based on your star
Mhm.
chart.
Mhm.
And, like on Family Karma, we saw their wedding was at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's
Yeah.
when they had to get married,
Yeah. I think Jenny and Sumit's guy told them a
a
time.
certain time. Yeah.
Mhm. But so you have that person saying this, but then the weather, you could have people die from lightning. So what
What
do
do you
you
do?
how do you reconcile that in your brain? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let us know.
Let us know. So that's the end of that. So
That's
they talk.
literally the end. We
Yeah,
don't know what's happening.
and she's having her pre-freak out. We're not there, but
No.
it's pre. It's the pre.
Yeah.
The pre. We're getting there. We've seen the previews. She's gonna have one in the
Building.
car, and
Yeah.
everyone's gonna laugh at her while she freaks out.
Including me.
Yeah. So,
Oh, and her sister goes, "You can do this. You've been through hard things before." I was like, "What has she been through before?"
how dare you? So,
I'm sorry, but she's like, "This is the hardest thing I've ever been through."
well, then she's had a pretty good life then.
Good for her. You're
Yeah.
right. Good for her.
So let's go to Sophie and Rob the Knob. So 19 days to wed. So he tells us now listen, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of Rob, and I don't enjoy his going out on the tick and the talk, being like, you people out there, you don't understand me. I'm out here working.
Mm.
So but I do feel in this instance, he has a tiny leg to stand on in that it was two of them ganging up on him. And just like we said about Gino should have stood up for Jasmine, she might need to stand up for him a little bit. He is an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And mom does antagonize him.
But these
you
were not issues that have not been brought up before. These were issues that have been brought up many times before that he could have changed but didn't.
Yeah, I know.
So is
I
she
know.
supposed to have for months and months saying, when are you going to move so we can live in a better place? I want indoor plumbing. I'm not asking for that much. And then the mom says the same thing and she's supposed to go, no, it's fine. I like it here.
Yeah, I know. There's just, I don't, because this doesn't go in his favor for me either on this conversation. But I also am just like, okay, in the one sense, he did feel ganged up on by the two of them. But on the other sense, just shut your mouth and that's your mother-in-law. Deal with it for 10 minutes and then they leave. And then bitch to your friends like a normal person.
Or move to a better apartment.
Right.
Get a job.
He's waiting for that sweet, sweet Matt Sharp money to come in before he can
know.
move. So 19 days to wed, he tells us he did feel that she sided with her mother, didn't have his back. She let him down, wasn't on his team, and that's a big thing for him. He wants to feel like she gets it. Like, why didn't she understand that she teamed against him? And so she comes up. He's sitting on his car, and she walks up, and he's like, "Huh? How was the night with your mom?" She goes, "Oh, it's nice at the hotel." He goes, "Yeah, but you spent the whole night talking about how terrible I am." And she goes, "No." And he goes, "Did you have my back when she said something bad about me? How'd that go?" She goes, "We weren't talking about you." And he says, "It was unnecessary for you to agree with her, and I felt alone, like you were not a part of my team." And she goes, "Well, I didn't need to make you feel like that." And she says, in her talking head, she goes, "Here's the truth. If I don't apologize, the argument will never end.
Yeah.
And the way he treats me in these arguments, I don't even know why I'm fighting for it. Like, I have my limits."
Mm-hmm.
So they walk in to the apartment, whatever the hell it is, the lean-to, the shed. And they walk and they walk in, and he goes, "Home, I know you hate it, sweet home."
Oh my
And she
God.
goes, "Okay."
How
He
can you
goes,
deal with this attitude all the time?
he's so
He's a
immature.
sulking child.
He's so immature. He's 10 years older than her.
This is crazy.
So they decide to sit outside in the most amazing courtyard ever to have a
Yeah.
chat. And
They
he goes,
always go there because it's the only place that doesn't suck in the whole
and
place.
I think that the inside is like so crowded for them to be
It must
filming
smell
in.
bad too in that little room.
Probably.
It's like it's dank and there's like it's overcrowded with clothes and just nowhere to
Old,
sit.
old
Yeah.
food and I don't know what. So they sit there and he goes, do you know that phrase, being hung out to dry? She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I felt hung out to dry and vulnerable. I with no support from you." And she goes, "Okay, well, I've apologized to you already in the car." And then she says, "The very least you could do is apologize to me for being rude to my mother." And he goes, "Oh, okay. You know what? I'm sorry I raised my voice and said things that I really tried not to say." And she goes, "Okay, well, I am willing to move past it. And I woke up feeling sad without you. But then I saw that you were up till 4 a.m. posting on Facebook things that were aimed at me, and it's really childish." And then she starts telling about the post he did. And as she's telling about the post, um, he starts trying to go, well, and she goes, "No, I'm talking." He's being such a child. Um, he is 32 years old. He posts dumb memes on Facebook to poke at his fiance because she's spending the night with her mom at a hotel.
Yeah,
Like
like
they're getting
passive aggressive, not even veiled, but like he'll be
no.
like, "No, it could have been about anything," but they're obviously about her.
Yeah, it's like when a girl buys you dinner one time and acts like you owe her your world. Like,
Yeah,
what?
when she wants indoor plumbing.
God, bitches, am I right? So she says, "All of that stuff you did on Facebook was to hurt my feelings. And you're just poking at me." And he goes, "No, it's not, because you don't have to look at my social media."
Oh my God.
And she goes,
Okay, so he wants her to defend him and have his back when he's not there,
"Yeah,
but she's not supposed to care if he's telling the world on social media that he's mad at her and she's all this stuff.
yeah, right." So she goes, "Oh my God, you hurt my feelings. Just fucking say you're sorry." And he goes, talking head, he goes, "I didn't expect her to get it. When I posted a meme, like I didn't expect her to get it.
What?
And also there's just no way for me to even talk about it without sounding like I'm 19. Well,
That's
that's
the
right.
most honest thing he's ever said,
Yes.
except I would argue 13. But
Yeah.
he didn't think she would get that those memes were veiled about her? Are you kidding me? Do you think she's stupid?
I don't know if he meant I didn't expect her to get it, that it was about her, or like, I don't expect her to get it when I'm explaining it to her because she's just not smart enough to get it. When I'm like, "Here's why I did it. Like, you don't know how deep I am."
Oh my God.
Um, so he goes, so as she's talking, he goes, "Yeah, well, I want to talk about important shit and you want to talk about social media." And she flips on him and it's like, "My feelings are hurt. Your feelings were hurt. Why can't you fucking just say you're sorry? I can't put all this emotion into this relationship and you do fucking nothing. I can't keep doing this, Rob. It's not that hard. It's just not that hard." So he says, "All right, I'm sorry for hurting your feelings over social media postings." Still not the right answer.
I hate him.
And then he goes, "Look, I am trying. I'm trying hard to get better. And I'm trying to think about your point of view. I am. And she says, well, it's hard to see that you're trying when you're constantly getting the same results. And she goes, I always have to apologize to move past an argument. And I don't think you're able to change. Like, I really am not sure if you're able to change. And he says he is trying to change. He is trying to understand how to control his emotions or whatever for them. And then she goes, will you ever be able to take constructive criticism? And he kind of starts to talk. And she goes, will you ever be able to take accountability? Will you ever be able to take constructive criticism? And he goes, I see it as shade. And she's like, it's not shade. It's me just telling you how I feel. Can you take accountability? Can you take accountability now? And can you show me that you can change? And he starts to say, he goes, yeah, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't trying to work on it or something like that. And then he's like, but like, of course I'm trying. And she goes, it's not an attack. Like, can you change? Can you take accountability? Like, he can't even take accountability and be like, yes, I was childishly posting on social media because I knew you'd see it. Like, that was a dick move, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. He grew up in a way that, like, any negative feedback was a personal attack or shade or, like, coming at you. And then you just dig your heels in and you don't admit you're wrong.
Yeah. Because even when he was like, okay, I'll say I'm sorry for you looking at my social media.
Right.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
No. So then he goes, he says, I love you and I wouldn't be working this hard on it if I didn't. And I want to marry you. And he says, we've been happy before and we will be again. And we can't get to that place. And she's like, all right, okay. And she says she feels like he is sincere. And she goes, okay, I forgive you. And he goes, I forgive you too. And I'm like, what are you forgiving her for?
She didn't do nothing. Oh God, I can't.
Other than just not sticking
and he's
up,
like scraping something off her face for like 10 minutes, like an eyelash or something while she's talking. And I was like, get your paws off her face. What are you doing? It's not coming off. Stop. It's like, you can try once, and then if it doesn't come off, just let it go.
Yeah, right. So they're sitting and doing like a talking head together. And he says, I feel good knowing that my partner won't give up and that we can work things out. And she's like, we definitely have issues, but I am hopeful and I do want to marry him. And he's like, I'm hopeful too. I was like, hope and a prayer is not going to make your marriage, people.
No. And then she like lists all the stuff that they've gone through. She's like, we've been through a lot. The kids situation, me being bi, him fighting with my mom. She doesn't mention the cheating.
Oh, the online cheating. Yeah.
Him like asking for videos and then sending videos back of him like pleasuring himself to these ladies. Like, you didn't even mention that. I
think she just like
other problems.
Started with a clean slate when she arrived. So since she's arrived, those are the problems that they've had.
No, but he did the cheating too. Well, yeah, it happened earlier, but she caught him while she was there.
Yeah. Again, a second time.
Twice it happened.
Lord. Well, let's do this. Let's talk about their clothes. Okay. So these two people are gorgeous.
Yes.
But they're also on a budget, like a big budget.
They huge budget. No indoor toilet budget.
They need plumbing and also duvets. So they need to save up for a new apartment. They need to get indoor plumbing. So I'm going to recommend they go and shop online at my favorite store, which is Quince. I was just telling my sisters my one sister knew about Quince. My other sister didn't when I was on this trip. I just got my husband, I'll have to whisper. I just got my husband some Quince for his birthday, which is this week. I got him some cute boxers that are bamboo and sweatpants. Now, he loves a very certain brand of lounge pants sweatband, and I do too. I have them on now, and the Quince pants are exactly the same. Exactly. I told y'all you go to look at the little chart at the bottom of each item that are compared to other similar items, and it's the same thing, just different tag on the back, and you'll be blown away by the price difference. Quince has high quality items like 100% Mongolian cashmere from $50. Washable silk tops and dresses, organic cotton sweaters, amazing jewelry. I love their leather handbags and their home items. Like they have these throw blankets. And you guys check out their luggage and their cute shoes. They literally have it all. They have it all.
Amazing.
I'm hoping Rob and Sophie can get some amazing wedding stuff on Quince and save some money on stuff for their new apartment because I'm sure they have some duvets they could throw on their beds. So give yourself the luxury you deserve, Rob and Sophie, with Quince. You're going to go to quince.com/pinkshade for free shipping on your order with 365-day returns. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/pinkshade to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/pinkshade. And then at the end, because I just ordered it literally this morning for my husband's birthday, when you go, it'll say, how did you hear about us? And you click podcast and it'll ask you which one, and you can type in Pink Shade there as well. So thank you. And thank you to Quince.
Do they sell new attitudes? Because that's what Rob needs.
Quince does not sell new attitudes.
Darn it.
Okay, on to some other people on a budget, and that is Citra and Sam. Okay,
Oh my gosh.
one day to the wedding. Here we are.
Oh, wait.
They're-
I do have to thank your listeners who
Okay.
explained. I did post a picture of his janky windows with
Yes.
the weird scratches on them that were
Yeah.
never coming off in the wash. And somebody said it was probably a badly done tint job
Mhm.
that has started to crack and peel. And that's why it's not
Okay.
coming off in the car wash and why it's always there.
Okay, because I was also thinking somebody gave the idea that it could be like a dog. You know, how the dog, they scratch and put their snout on the window if
Yeah.
they're riding in the car with you.
Yeah. But that
I
would
was,
come off because he did wash the car at some point.
yeah, you're right.
But more people were concerned about the size of his hands in the photo. And I thought it was just the way I cropped it or like the angle. But
Yeah.
everyone apparently has been talking about his hands on Reddit and how swollen hands can be a symptom of like a medical condition or IV drug use.
Yeah.
So apparently he has swollen hands. Look for it.
Swollen hands. Does that explains why King Charles has puffy hands?
No,
'Cause-
he does.
He has very fat, round fingers.
Maybe he has like arthritis and they're swollen.
I don't know. We did hear news today that he has some sort of cancer. King
Oh
Charles.
my God.
Yeah, that came out today.
I didn't know that.
I have to get the scoop from Meredith. Okay, everybody follow Meredith Constant on the TikTok. She's got all the royal scoop. All right, one day to the wedding. They're planning the wedding in the yard at the rental house. And he says, like, all in one day, he's going to do the conversion, then a spiritual ceremony that they will be married, and then the American wedding. There's a lot going on. Then Citra says, yeah, it's a lot going on. My face is breaking out from stress. And, Sam was like super excited about the bang bang part, but, I've never done it. I'm nervous. Like maybe it'll hurt. Like, I don't know.
So maybe they didn't do it. We all kind of thought they were lying.
Yeah, I'm still not 100% sure they're not lying. But maybe they've done everything but. Like maybe they've done some dry humping.
Yeah.
I don't know. So then he talks about unloading his blue balls. And then he says being with her is going to cause him a penile problem. What? Okay. So today is the day they're going to the mosque for conversion and the spiritual wedding. So Dad, Herman, helps Sam get dressed and shows him how to pray. This is still at the rental house, while the evil stepsisters, Nanda and Nafa, just laugh at him on the couch and tell him what he's doing wrong.
Yeah.
He can't get his
Stupid
feet right.
white boy can't bend his feet.
He was like, Indonesian people are small and they're bendy. He's like, I just can't bend my feet this way. So also he hasn't been doing it since he was little. So it's not like a natural pose for him to be in.
He's not doing yoga or anything.
So Dad's like, well, you're going to have to get it right. You got to do it 5 times a day. Of course, they're like, as soon as you leave, as soon as you leave, we're not doing any of this. So his dad wants to talk to Sam with Google Translate. So, and she was like, God, I hope they're going to talk and Dad's going to give the blessing, right? So they sit down to talk and Dad says, the wedding is soon. Are you ready? And he says, yes. And he feels happy because, we're going to be a family now. And Dad says, as a dad, I'm going to ask you to take care of her and love her and cherish her until you're old and become grandparents. Don't waste my daughter. And then Sam says, Google Translate doesn't work so well, but like you get the gist of it, right?
We need to get Mr. Google on the phone because how can they have billions of dollars. Fix your Google Translate. Yeah. It was like misgendering. Like once you marry him, take care of him.
My daughter.
Yeah, him. Yeah. Him, my daughter.
So Sam tells Herman, I want Citra and I's marriage to be like you and your wife. You're a perfect example.
That's
And we've
smart.
never heard anything about the mom.
Where is she? But good. That was smart kissing up.
Very. Because Herman kind of had a moment. He said, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And he says, I believe you. So I will give you the responsibility, and I believe in you, and with God's will, you can take care of my daughter. And they hug. And did you notice they were under a Jesus painting?
At the rental house. Yeah.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
house is very religious.
Very religious. So Herman says he accepts their intention to get married and everything's fine. And then he says, Sam says, I mean, thank God, I mean, Allah, that Herman approved. He was like, who am I supposed to say? And he says, we have a real father-son bond, and I've never had anything like that, and it's very special.
My dad is always out there chasing Bigfoot. He even pay attention to me.
He's like, I've never had a father-son bond, and
His
I have
dad
one
is
with
like,
this man that I've met twice who doesn't speak the same language.
it's that it's the language of love, Mary
I
Payne
guess
again. That
so.
they just hug and that's what it means. But also his dad seems okay. I mean, his dad does think he's a screw up. And
Yeah, well, he is a screw up.
but was it the
God.
chicken or the egg? Was it the you're a
Right.
bad kid, you're a bad seed, you're the black sheep of the family, and then he became that, or was it he started screwing up early?
Right. That's, yeah, chicken or the egg. That's right. So Sam also says he doesn't want to bring shame on their family if it doesn't work out or something happens. Okay, well, I think it's going to be up to you, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So now they are at the mosque and they're going to do the wudu, which we know you got to wash your hands, feet, mouth, face. You do it 3 times and then you do the prayer after the wudu. So he goes and sits down by one of the sisters. She's like, don't touch me. And he was like, what? And they go, oh my God, if you touch me, you got to start all over. And so they say, if you touch a woman after you do the wudu, you have to go do it all over again.
Because women are dirty.
Disgusting women. So he's
But
like,
he
I don't
didn't
want to
really
touch you
touch
anyway.
her. Like
Yeah.
he just kind of sat down, maybe like their sleeves brushed. I don't think they
Yeah.
actually touched.
But I love those mean sisters more than anything in the world.
I know.
I love them.
They're just ball busters.
They're so mean.
Yeah.
So Sam's dad arrives and he sits real awkwardly on the car. Did you see that? He's got on his alien transition lenses outside by the car.
I did notice that. Was he doing like a Fonz thing, like before he comes in? Like, I gotta do a pose. Like, I'm leaning again. Like, he's gonna pick up a girl at like the, drive-in
Yeah.
or
If
something.
Hans was a praying mantis, I don't know. Yeah. So mom isn't coming, of course. And, Sam's like, of course, she's not going to come. And thank God she didn't. Thank
No,
God.
she would have ruined it.
So dad says, I find all religions interesting. I'm atheist, but I think it's interesting. Look, I believe, in the gods came from the solar systems. I mean, you should look at the pyramids alone. But anyway, I was left alone.
I don't think that makes him an atheist then. I think he just doesn't believe in a traditional Judeo-Christian God.
I think he's atheist and he thinks the pyramids were made by aliens. I think he believes all the things about aliens and then also he's atheist. I think both.
But does he kind of think the aliens are gods? He said like the gods.
True.
Or like even like the Greek gods or the Roman gods.
I don't know.
Okay. He's fascinating to me. I need him on The Single Life.
He said, this is interesting too, because he said he was left alone.
Miss Debbie.
No.
He and Miss Debbie would have the best conversations.
We want more from Miss Debbie. He said he was left alone a lot in his marriage by his family. So he won't do that to Sam, which was very nice.
Boy, this mom is not getting a good edit this season. Just even when she's not on screen, someone is dissing her.
Clearly his family hated her and didn't want him to marry her, and then he had these kids with her. But the question I have about their marriage is, was she like a religious fanatic when they were married and that turned him into an atheist?
Right.
Because I don't think she would have married him being an atheist alien hunter.
Right.
So somewhere in their marriage, she went one way and he went the other, like extreme.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then probably that wasn't so great for the kids. So Sam goes to the front of the mosque to make his declaration of faith. He does the repeating of the words, and he says he feels like frightened, but he plays it cool. And he says these words, I bear witness that there's no other deity except Allah, and I testify that Muhammad is Allah's messenger. Glorify Allah. And then they all say it back, or, whatever. So then the talking head together, she's like, I'm really proud of you. And he was like, I have been a fuck up in the past, but since being with you, I'm doing much better. All right.
Except I might go to prison.
So they might get a present, but besides that. So now we have the ceremony. So it's bridegroom and the guardian. They ask if Herman agrees. He agrees to the marriage. And then she says, I marry myself to you. And he says, I accept. And that's it. Praise Allah. And it's done.
They keep cutting to the dad in his transition sunglasses that are like completely dark.
They haven't transitioned.
They never transitioned. And he has that unexplained wrist brace on.
Yes.
Why did he break his wrist? What happened?
Yeah.
Chasing Bigfoot. And he just keeps staring, but he's being very respectful. He's just curiously watching the whole thing.
Yeah, he is. And Herman cries and hugs the spiritual leader, and then Herman and Sam hug and cry, and Sam's like, this is what a real dad does, Dad! He didn't say that.
Put down the Sasquatch equipment and give me your son a hug.
So Sam's dad says, I don't know, seems all right to me. I mean, Sam loves Citra, and that's all I could want for my son. All right, got to get back to work. Bye. So he leaves. All right, let's move on to
Sam was not wearing jeans. Like, I saw other people wearing jeans in the mosque, but he was getting married and converting. So, like, the dad was wearing khakis.
Yeah,
not the dad with the wrist brace. Her dad. Yeah. And then when he did get up to hug the man doing the conversion, I can't remember what his title is. His underwear was showing a little because he wears his jeans so low.
Oh,
the style.
Yeah.
Of all teenage dirtbags. And so that was unfortunate. But it was a very sweet moment overall. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. So let's move on to the couple of the hour, and that's Anali and Clayton.
Are they the couple of the hour?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. So I did get some back information on Clayton. I don't know how that happened. Someone must have sent it to me.
Okay.
Because Clayton, I guess it was on Reddit. So Clayton is the top wizard on old school RuneScape, which is the highest XP in Magic, rank number 1. I don't know what that means. He has something like 800 or 900 days worth of playtime. Days. Like in hours. Like they use the hours to calculate, and it's that many days.
Okay.
So over years, he has a wiki page dedicated to him.
What?
Yeah. I feel like TLC glossed over this. It's one thing to be a gamer and to do that as a hobby. It's another to be the top player on a popular game. And so then someone linked his page, and it says like nationality American, known for being the first player to achieve 200 million magic experience in old school RuneScape. Clan Hexus. So he achieved this big milestone in 2014. And he obtained most of his magic XP from barraging and lunar spells. He was also the third player to obtain 99 Hunter in old school RuneScape. Clayton is also featured on the TV show 90 Day Fiance. So there's like a wiki page for RuneScape, and he's like listed like as he's famous.
Wow.
And some sort of top wizard.
Interesting.
Yeah, so maybe he does play for money, or is this still his side job?
We need more information. Does he get
Some
money?
People make bank.
I mean, like YouTubers make bank just by playing Fortnite. I mean, my son used to watch that stuff all the time.
Yeah, but I think he's just playing for funsies.
Somebody let us know. Is he playing for funsies, or does he make enough money to get a 3-bedroom apartment and put mom in one and the guinea pigs in another?
Yeah. So Clayton, it's the day before the wedding. He is exercising, which involves hopping like a bunny and making squirrel noises at the squirrels in the trees.
I died. I sent you that because I took a screenshot of it. I'm going, and jumping side to side. I was like,
Side
what
to
the
side.
fuck is going
Well,
on
there
here?
you have it. Is he trying to be unsexy at this point, or is this just what comes out of him naturally?
When he was exercising in the front yard, and she came out and was like, it's a little too late. The wedding's tomorrow. He goes,
Yeah.
I have to lose 10 kilos by tomorrow. And she's like, keep going, fatty.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So he has finally arranged all of the wedding things. So that's
Mhm.
good because it's the day before the wedding.
Right.
He tells Anali that his bachelor party was very relaxing, which is the synonym, the adjective that you want to hear for a bachelor party. And they played video games and swam in the weird indoor pool. And
Right.
then she's like, no, mine was good. My bachelor party was good. There was a guy, she doesn't say there was a guy with his wiener flopping around. And if you see a bridesmaid with an eye patch at the wedding, because of him. She just says there was a dancer there, and he is instantly like creepy unhappy. And I think it's his facial hair or something about his eyes. He just looks to me like a serial killer when he gets
Yeah.
upset.
Yeah. It was quite a turn, I
Yeah.
thought.
Like
Yeah.
he has like bones in the basement. Like there's something
I
weird with
agree.
his temper. So
I
it not
agree.
like it's quiet. It's a quiet temper, but it's creepy to me. So he's unhappy. He says you broke the rules, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Is she a child or like I don't like that. Maybe you can have joint rules as a couple, but whatever. So he's like, you could have pushed him away. You could have said no. You could have, and she's like, we were on a party bus. I can't just throw him out the window. Like I was trapped with his wiener. What am I supposed to do?
And that pink
Flopping
cocksock
around.
in my face.
Yeah. So he's like, why shouldn't I be pissed? My fiance doesn't want me, but she wants somebody else. I mean, that I kind of get because he's literally had to beg her for sex for 90 days.
Yeah.
And then she's dead. Like, I do kind of get why he would feel
Yeah.
annoyed about that.
I do too. I do too.
But he wants to know everything. Did he touch you? What was he doing? Did you touch him? Did he touch your boobs? Where was he? What was he wearing? What was he doing? Was he dancing? Like, and she's feeling very badly. She kind of like something happened to her where if she's questioned too much, she just emotionally shuts off and just
Yeah.
starts crying and like
Mhm.
runs away.
Goes to the bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah. So he calls Brandy and says, because of this stripper thing, Annalie is packing up her suitcase and is going to leave. It's not because of the stripper thing. It's because of your reaction to the stripper thing. Let's be clear.
Exactly. Yes.
And Brandy says, well, go and comfort her. And he says, what, should I apologize? I don't have to apologize. I'm the victim here. You're the victim there? Okay, calm down. And Annalie is like crying in the bathroom and like maybe packing her suitcase. She's just kind of puttering around the rental house. And she's like, I don't want to live like this. Maybe I should just leave because I can't deal with him if he's
Yeah.
going to be like this the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
So he goes and tries to hug her, and it's a very one-sided hug because her arms never come up. They're like
Yeah.
plastered at her side, and he's like, it's okay. And they sit down by the weird indoor pool that is in the living room of that house. Still so strange to me. And she wants to know, are you ever going to let go of this? Or are you going to keep asking me questions forever? Like, that's it's been 10 minutes. But she knows him that he doesn't let things go and he just asks questions and like wants to know every detail and will never let it go.
Yeah.
She says he did the same thing about telling her dad, even though we only saw him ask twice. But
Right.
this is the exact same thing that happened then. She's like, you never let it go. You just badger me and badger me and badger me. So he says, that's how I calm my mind. I like have to get all the answers and picture it and then you can let it go. And she just wants to let it go now and never talk about it again.
Mhm.
And so she says, I just want to sleep in a different room tonight so I can think. And he's like, what? What do you need to think about? Are you not going to marry me tomorrow? Think about what? She's like, I just need to think. And then the preview for next week, which we will talk about at the end.
Mhm.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with
He's
them. I
been
don't.
posting pictures of himself online, but not with her.
Yeah,
He
but
was
that could also
hanging
be a
out with-
ploy.
Exactly. He was hanging out with Devin and Nick.
Yeah.
But like I don't know.
Who we'll never see again.
No.
Never.
No.
I don't
Maybe
even know.
on a
I don't know if they're.
diaries.
I don't know if they're coming to the tell-all. I don't know.
I know.
So next week on 90 Day Fiance,
Oh, are we
Rob.
at that spot already?
Yeah, we're done. Because
Okay.
we didn't have Nick and Devin. Of course, we're never going to see them again, and we didn't have Justin and Nikki.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
I needed a break.
So next week on Rob and Sophie have a fun workout together. And then they seem to be, back on good terms. And Claire comes in and kind of kicks off with like, Rob and da-da-da-da. And Sophie tries to intervene and tries to like get in the middle, like to talk to both of them, which is what he wants. He wants to feel that she is sticking up for him and not just letting her mom badger him. So maybe they're both learning lessons here. Gino and Jasmine are having their wedding. She's all ready, and she calls her sister and cries about having no family there. Sam talks to Herman, Citra's dad, about their wedding. And he was like, yeah, and so it's going to be this afternoon. And Herman goes, but not with a priest, right? Sam was like, is it a priest? I think he needs it to be a non-denominational officiant because now he's Muslim. He can't have a priest do the wedding. So Sam didn't think that through. So he was like, well, how am I going to find an officiant at the last minute? Well, if you lived wherever, Clayton and Anali are, you could just ask anybody.
Just Brandy. Ask Brandy to do it.
Just anybody. So Nikki is leaving Moldova to leave Justagor, and she says he is saying, I wanted to be with her more minutes and not seconds. And she says they have things to work on, but she's hopeful. Well, we know it's not going to last.
No.
Then we see Clayton at the altar, and Anali is not there.
So this looks like it's a traditional 90-day fake out. Like it looks like she's just running late. And,
yes.
And it's going to be one of those, is she going to show up? And obviously she's just running late.
Yes.
But then.
Well, okay. She's on the phone and she's saying, I don't want to marry him. I want to keep him out of my life. And Clayton cries. He's sitting in the empty room where the wedding is supposed to be with Cameron. But I think that's before the wedding. And he's crying to Cameron saying his jealousy got the best of him. He ends up talking to Anali and she's late to the wedding, but she shows up. That's what I think.
I don't know. She's on the phone and she's like, I think the best thing is just to leave and not talk to him about it and just go.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the best fake out I've ever seen if it's a fake out.
Yeah, I think it's really fake.
Made me think we are going to get someone stood up at the altar. But I'm very gullible.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that scene that they showed with him crying and it looks like the empty
it looks venue. Like after the ceremony, but it's actually before the ceremony.
I think it's before, where he's crying to his friend going, I think I screwed it up, blah, blah, blah. I learned that Peruvian dance for no reason.
Oh, yeah, the dance. I really want to see the dance.
And that's it. And that's it for our episode. And I will remind everyone that you can find me on Instagram at Pink Shade Pod. You can find Kimberly at Dateline. Kimberly has a wonderful podcast with our friend Katie. It's called A Date with Dateline. If you haven't heard about it, where have you been? And it's been around for a while, and it's very great. She recaps Dateline. And I myself have taken to making sure I watch the correct Dateline. Yeah. I did not even watch the one that you recapped last week. I just listened to your episode because I find your voices to be soothing to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the Dateline. I just listened to you. And people say that about this podcast all the time. They're like, I gave up on 90 Day long ago. I just come and listen to your recaps. I'm like, really?
I understand. Gino and Jasmine can be very triggering to watch.
They're so tiring.
Yeah.
They're so tiring. And if you ever have been a Clayton and stood up at the altar, this would be triggering.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you have ever abandoned your beta fish in somebody's front steps. You guys, that's a callback to the first 20 minutes of this episode. If you're late, just rewind.
If your dad has ever been abandoning you as a child because he was too busy chasing Bigfoot and aliens in your yard and has a random broken wrist, this could be triggering for you.
This could be triggering for you.
Because you wear sunglasses inside the house. Very triggering.
Next week, guys, let's see. Next week, there will be no 90-day recap because we won't have an episode because of the Super Bowl.
Oh.
So here in this spot.
Ask me who's playing. I have no idea.
It's Taylor Swift's boyfriend's team
That I knew.
and another team. So that I'm looking at Tuesday the 13th. So what we will do is we will put up Prison Brides episode 5 that's coming out this week. Well, I'm going to put up the episode of that on the free feed. All of the episodes for Prison Brides are over on Pink Shade Prime. So I'm going to put up Prison Brides episodes 5 here in that spot since we will not have 90 Day Fiance. And that's
if you
all.
want me to do a recap of the Puppy Bowl, I would consider it. Because
Okay.
I do
Nobody-
watch the Puppy Bowl every year.
Nobody wants that.
No, I guess not.
Nobody wants that. All right, Kimberly, I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
Bye. Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, don't necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you'd like to listen to ad-free, you're going to go on over to Supercast or Patreon, and you can find the links to Pink Shade Prime at pinkshadepodcast.com.